1995, the internet is exploding and Microsoft is losing. So Bill Gates declares war in an email titled The Internet Tidal Wave because Microsoft does not react. It retaliates. Today, Microsoft is not just a software company. It is a surveillance apparatus wrapped in a productivity suite. Every time you boot up Windows, open Office, use Teams, search on Bing, or ask Cortana a question, you are feeding one of the most sophisticated data collection operations on the planet. And most of us have no idea it is even happening. This is the story of how a company that once sold operating systems for $200 now gives them away for free. They realize something far more valuable than your money. They realize they could have your data instead. Let's go back to 1975. A young Bill Gates drops out of Harvard and moves to Albuquerque, New Mexico with his friend Paul Allen. Their company, Microsoft, has one product, a version of the basic programming language for the Altair 8800, one of the first personal computers. Gates is 20 years old. Within a decade, he will be one of the richest people on Earth. The turning point comes in 1980 when IBM approaches Microsoft to create an operating system for their new personal computer. Microsoft does not actually have an operating system, so Gates buys one called QDOS, Quick and Dirty Operating System, for $50,000, rebrands it as MS-DOS, and licenses it to IBM. But here is the genius move. Gates refuses to sell IBM exclusive rights. He retains the ability to license DOS to other manufacturers. By the mid-1980s, IBM-compatible computers flood the market, and every single one needs Microsoft's operating system. Gates doesn't make money selling computers, he makes money selling the invisible software that makes computers work. And because he licensed rather than sold it, he creates a recurring revenue stream that prints money for decades. When Windows 3.1 launches in 1992, it sells 1 million copies in the first 2 months. By Windows 95, Microsoft achieves something almost unthinkable, a dominance so complete that using a computer and using Windows become synonymous. But domination breeds complacency. While Microsoft is busy crushing Netscape and fighting antitrust lawsuits in the late 1990s, they miss the internet revolution. Then they miss mobile. Google launches Android, Apple launches the iPhone, and suddenly Microsoft's stranglehold on computing looks vulnerable. The company that defined personal computing is being left behind in the age of smartphones and cloud services. This is where the story gets interesting. Microsoft realizes something profound. They cannot compete with free. Google gives away Android. Google gives away search. Google gives away email. How do you fight a competitor who charges nothing? The answer is, you do not fight them. You join them, but you change what you are selling. In 2015, Microsoft does something unprecedented. They announce Windows 10 will be a free upgrade. Free, the operating system that generated tens of billions in revenue, is now given away at no cost. Wall Street analysts are baffled. Microsoft stock drops. But CEO Satya Nadella understands what Bill Gates understood 40 years earlier. The product isn't the point. The platform is the point. And in 2015, the platform isn't software anymore. It's data. Here's how it works. When you install Windows 10 or 11, you're presented with a setup screen. You can customize your privacy settings, but the default options are designed to share everything. Diagnostic data, location, speech recognition, inking and typing. Ad personalization. Microsoft wants to know what apps you use, what files you open, what websites you visit, what you search for, what you say to Cortana, where you are, and how you use your computer. And that's just the operating system. Layer on Office 365, which 90% of businesses use. Now Microsoft knows what documents you create, who you email, who you have meetings with, what you talk about in Teams chats. Add in Microsoft Edge, their browser. Now they know every website you visit. Add in Bing, their search engine. Now they know what you are looking for. Add in LinkedIn, which Microsoft bought for $26 billion in 2016. Now they have your professional network, your job history, your skills, your connections. The telemetry is staggering. Windows 10 sends data back to Microsoft servers constantly. Security researchers analyzing network traffic found that even with all privacy settings disabled, Windows still phones home thousands of times per day. What is it sending? Microsoft claims it is diagnostic data to improve performance and security, but the data is encrypted, transmitted to Microsoft servers, and the company refuses to specify exactly what is being collected. In 2017, the Dutch government investigated Windows 10 and found it violated privacy laws. Microsoft collected more data than disclosed and gave users insufficient control. France's Data Protection Authority issued similar findings. But here is the problem. What are you going to do? Stop using Windows? For most businesses and individuals, Microsoft has made itself indispensable. That is not an accident. That is strategy. The modern Microsoft business model is brilliant in its simplicity. Give away the software, lock users into the ecosystem, extract value through cloud services and data. Azure, Microsoft's cloud platform, is now a $70 billion per year business. Office 365 subscriptions generate another $50 billion. And all of it, every single service, feeds data back into Microsoft's machine learning algorithms, advertising network, and business intelligence tools. They know what companies are growing because they see hiring patterns on LinkedIn. They know what products are trending because they see search patterns on Bing. They know what businesses are struggling because they see declining email activity and document creation. This data isn't just valuable, it's predictive. It tells Microsoft what to build next, who to sell to, and how to position their products. But it also creates a surveillance panopticon that would have been unthinkable when Bill Gates was selling floppy disks out of Albuquerque. The beautiful irony is that Microsoft, the company once vilified as a monopolistic predator, has convinced the world they're the good guys now. They're not Facebook harvesting your personal life for ad revenue. They're not Google tracking you across the internet. They're Microsoft. Trustworthy, enterprise-grade, professional. But look closer and you'll see they're doing exactly the same thing, just with better PR and a focus on business customers instead of consumers. You can't opt out. Not really. You can disable some telemetry, you can limit some data sharing, but if you want to use Windows, if you need Office, if your company runs on Microsoft infrastructure, you're in the ecosystem. And once you're informatique, everything you do feeds the machine. That's the real story of Microsoft's dominance. They don't control computers anymore, they control the data that computers generate. And in an age where data is the most valuable resource on Earth, that makes them not just powerful, but essential. The same company that once charged you hundreds of dollars for software now offers it for free because they've figured out something worth so much more. They've figured out how to monetize you. If you found this fascinating, hit subscribe for more stories about the hidden systems that shape our digital lives.